Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Sonic Adventure 2? Yes, here we are again. The Can We Talk About podcast taking another step into the future of our podcasting, Kristen. Finally getting to what we originally wanted to do. Was like, hey, movies, games, TV.
Making the podcast even harder to categorize.
A year and a half after starting.
Whatever.
And what a way to start, Kristen. This is part one of our look over 2001's Sonic Adventure 2, which neither of us are playing in the original format, probably because it's hard to get a Dreamcast now.
We never had one in the first place.
I would assume it's hard to get a Dreamcast anyway, because a Dreamcast old.
Garbage. Old garbage.
Whoa! You don't call the Dreamcast garbage, Kristen.
What was so great about the Dreamcast?
Jet Set Radio?
Soul Calibur?
Soul Calibur, that's another good one. The best...
We accidentally named two good things.
The best arcade port of Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
And two bad Sonic Adventure games. And Knights, which is a bad game.
Knights was on the Sega Saturn, Kristen.
Is it?
Yes.
Shows what I know. I was born in 1993, okay? Cut me some slack.
I am the world's ultimate weapon. My name is Joe.
All the world's jewels belong to me. I'm Kristen.
And I am playing Sonic Adventure 2 plus Battle DLC via Steam. And Kristen, you're playing PS Plus, I think?
PlayStation Now. Close.
PlayStation. I don't know what PS Plus is. I don't have a PlayStation.
Sony doesn't try that hard to distinguish between what all these dumb acronyms mean. I'm not sure what PS Plus is, and I own a PlayStation 4. I don't have it. I know that.
Do you get the Battle DLC in what you're playing it from?
That depends. What is the DLC?
As far as I could tell, it's the... it unlocks the characters in the Versus mode, and I think it gives you more emblems, maybe? Or like
Can
more...
I play as Tikal?
Chow Karate, maybe?
I want to be Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic's pretty good.
He's pretty cool, actually.
He's my favorite. Anyway.
It was funnier when I said Tikal. Anyway.
I wanted to do a thing where we raised Chow and made them beat the fuck out of each other at the end, but I don't think that would be possible, even if we both had it on Steam.
Yep, and unfortunately, as an adult now, maybe as a 23-year-old, my patience has just waned and waned and waned. But I don't have the fucking patience to raise a Chow.
So, how do you have the patience to play this game?
I barely do. My solemn promise to you that we were going to record this podcast, because it's already on our schedule and there's no going back now, that is how I have the patience to play this game.
In any case, Kristen, I had said previously that this would be taking an interesting format, so let me lay it on you here, Kristen. Sonic Adventure 2. It's got 2 story paths in it.
Revolutionary.
We've got the hero side, misspelled as the herp side, and it may as well be.
Well, Tails isn't doing it any favors.
Consisting of Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles the Echidna, and Tails the Tails.
Tails the... missing some mental faculties.
Is he not a kitsune, I think?
Well, you don't have to say it like that. How about we speak English on this podcast because we're American?
And then we've got the dark story consisting of the handsome Riot, the flirtatious Minx, and the conniving Rapture.
I don't know why that was actually so funny. Whew.
Kristen, you will be taking the lead on the hero story, and me, Joe, is playing the dark story. We technically both still played the hero and dark portions, respectively.
We are planning on playing the final story as well. God help us.
But we'll get into some brief history on the game here, unless, I don't know, do you have any choice words on Sonic Adventure 2 before we kick the theme song and get off and running here?
This game is worse than I remember. I think I hate video games now.
Well, Kristen, at least we got the music of the game, which is actually probably, since we're not doing Chow Garden stuff, is probably the best part of the game.
Are you sure we can't talk about Tales of Berseria instead? Because I just bought that.
Nope!
Okay.
Theme song. Yes.
Live and learn, I guess.
So that intro that just played here is over, I guess, I call it the eye catcher of the game. It's not technically the eye catcher. It's not in the middle of the game. It's the attract mode, I guess.
Sure, for the arcade version.
The thing that you see before pressing the start button.
Don't do drugs. Guns are bad.
And we got Knuckles barking at the screen, which is the only thing that I remember.
He's looking for a kiss. He puts a lot of teeth into them kisses.
Kristen, Sonic Adventure 2 is a game that was developed by Sonic Team USA, which does not exist anymore. It is a game that was meant to be more actiony after the first Sonic Adventure because, Kristen, I don't know if you remember Sonic Adventure 1. I do not have kind words to say about Sonic Adventure 1.
Did you ever play that?
Yes, we owned Sonic Adventure DX, I believe, for a time.
That sounds correct. I remember, the first level in the whale. I feel like I remember watching you fight Chaos.
That's definitely a thing. The whale in the first level.
Is that the game where Big the Cat came in?
Yes.
So that's where it all started to go downhill for Sonic, huh?
Well, either way, Sonic Adventure 1 was, according to the Sonic Wiki, a more story-driven game. And, I mean, it did have the fucking hub world and shit, a trait shared by Sonic 06, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. So, at the very least, do you know what Sonic Adventure gave us in the end?
Sonic 06.
One of the very first Flash cartoons I ever saw, which was a Sonic Adventure animation set to Genie in a Bottle by Christina Aguilera.
What?
Do you not remember that?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Kristen.
That was one of the webcomics that we both followed back in ye olde day of very early 2000s.
20-aught something.
Yeah, one of those people who made Sprite webcomics.
Oh, man. Kristen, we...
way back in the day.
This is a rabbit hole we don't want to go down.
You don't want to talk about 8-Bit Theater?
I don't remember anything about 8-Bit Theater.
I only very barely remember anything about 8-Bit Theater.
It goes to show how much of a lasting impact Homestar had.
Yep, that was the thing that stuck with us. I do remember a little bit of... what was the webcomic with the Mario 2 characters?
The Neglected Mario Characters comic? One?
The two main characters were the Pidget Bill, and Bugsy.
The bug from Kirby. Yeah.
I don't remember what that was called. I remember that being funny and weirdly political.
Weird. Anyway, Sonic Adventure.
I'm sorry. My brain just, I astral projected and went back in time.
Sheep Talisman.
No!
When are we going to do Jackie Chan Adventures?
Stop making me think of Jackie Chan Adventures. You hurt me every single time.
Anyway, Kristen, this game was developed to be more actiony. Again, gone is the hub world, thank God.
Forget that.
It creates some weird situations where suddenly you're just like, oh, we're here now?
Good thing we established teleportation exists.
But we were meant to have a more American kind of feel in this game. And it's better, because the first Sonic Adventure, again, frankly sucked, which isn't fair to Sonic Adventure, but it was terrible, and I'm not angry about Big the Cat levels, not at all. No, I'm not.
I'm really gonna have to look up some Sonic Adventure gameplay, because I remember, jack fucking shit about that game. I remember the robot was sort of cute.
And then you get to break them in headquarters. Either way, it's a more streamlined experience. Again, this is good. This is a good thing.
It tells you what the fuck to do.
Early in the dev cycle of the game, Kristen, Yuji Naka, creator of Sonic, stated pretty outright that this game was going to have 3 playable characters in it.
Who?
Sonic. So it was going to have 3 playable characters, Kristen. It was going to have Tails, Espio the Chameleon, and...
and Charmy the Bee.
And Tikal.
Perfect. How many times is Tikal going to come up?
Sonic, Knuckles, and Dr. Eggman.
Sure, sounds good. And his mean bean machine.
Now, this reflects on the level types that the game has to offer here, the speed levels, the treasure hunt levels, and whatever the fuck you call the Eggman/Tails levels.
The bullshit mech levels where you run too fast and fall off the fucking edge into a lot of sand a lot. Where Kristen loses all of her lives and has to start over.
Apparently, Kristen, fans weren't too happy about this. They were clamoring, where are all the Sonic mainstays? Where's Tails, I guess?
Really?
Again, I'm taking this from the Sonic Wiki, Sonic News Network. And
God bless them, the men in the trenches.
So, later on, Tails, Rouge, and Shadow were revealed to be playable here, and if you didn't get my joke earlier, I should have said the dark story is Shadow, Eggman, and Rouge the Bat. Not the Stingers, even though this game... Krista, wouldn't this game be different if the dark story were the Stingers?
I'm imagining, the person who comes in on this episode of our podcast, and I just suddenly was struck by, like, a huge wave of sympathy for them. This is a weird place to start, my friend.
So, yeah, they clamored for fan favorites, and they got 2 new characters and Tails. So good job.
You dumb assholes, that's what you get. Don't tell Yuji Naka what to do.
The Sonic Wiki says each character got kind of more equal time compared to others, like Big and Gamma in the first adventure game, where they got shorter stories, apparently, but Big took me the longest, because I fucking hate... I never played fucking Sega Pro Bass Fishing or whatever those mechanics are based on. I have it on Steam.
You didn't have the fishing controller.
No. I didn't. No, I didn't.
Maybe that was the secret. That would have done it.
I should have played more Jumbo Safari at the bowling alley.
That's what I played.
Jambo Safari?
I don't remember. Do you remember at the YMCA they had Revolution X?
I remember the YMCA had the most diverse amount of arcade games in northeastern Pennsylvania because they had... I don't remember them having Revolution X, but that's great, first of all.
I played it a lot because it had a very big gun.
They had Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, the black sheep of the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise, because it's shitty and sucks, kinda. The character selection isn't great in it, basically, and that's that's the backbone of those games. It had Stun Runner. Stun Runner was one of the last games that they had there before they turned it into a fucking yoga studio or whatever. They had Tekken 3, too, which was my first introduction to fighting games, I think. So, great, but I don't know...
Do you ever look back on our childhood arcades and feel like we didn't appreciate them enough?
No, we definitely didn't. That's the problem.
Definitely didn't.
That's why I drive to New York to go to arcades now, Kristen.
Come to Philly. We'll go to Barcade.
Barcade doesn't have the cool shit.
Then we'll also go to Round 1.
I don't know where that is.
It's in Exton. They have a very large arcade. I've been to the Round 1 in Boston. And it's way more of a Japanese-style arcade than an American one.
I don't remember what we were talking about here, Kristen. Everybody getting the same kind... Whatever. Either way, some stories were shorter, whatever. Did Rouge need the car level? Basically is my question.
What, you don't enjoy chasing the president as Tails?
The wiki also mentions that apparently branching paths were going to be a thing in this game at one point with an example...
You ignored my question.
With an example of Sonic is trapped in a submarine that's out of control, and he can either try to control the damn thing himself or get the hell out of there and try to swim. Apparently, Kristen, this was implemented in Shadow the Hedgehog, but I didn't play that game, so...
Yeah, because you know what I thought was missing from the Sonic games? Branching paths.
And gun.
It's like playing The Walking Dead. You say something to Tails one time, then you turn around, and all of a sudden Tails has a gun and he's shooting Rouge!
Whoa, Tails' Shadow the Hedgehog game.
Oh no. I like how Shadow is the one that actually has the gun. And I'm like, no, it's a lot funnier if Tails has the gun.
Sonic Adventure 2, Kristen, came out on June 23rd, 2001, so we narrowly missed its 16th anniversary?
Happy birthday.
Which marked Sonic's 10th anniversary, so Sonic's 26, I guess, maybe? Whatever. Anyway.
He's getting up there. It's starting to get sad.
Let's get to it, Kristen. We'll start with the dark story here because it begins a little earlier, actually a lot earlier. It takes a while for shit to kind of match up, so...
Let's really break down the timeline of this stupid game.
We're starting with Iron Gate, which is the first Dr. Eggman level. It is your introduction to the dark story. We start on, Kristen, Prison Island, which is a less cool place than Magic Island, of course.
Just a little bit less.
Is the text in this game Comic Sans?
It isn't, but it's close.
It's very close.
You know what video game has a prison island, Joe?
Danganronpa?
Well...
Two, kind of.
Tales of Berseria has one. That's where I am right now in my video game that I'm playing. The main character's name is Velvet, and she does not wear a lot of clothes at all.
Wow. Does she wear velvet?
No.
That would be terrible for battle,
I'm assuming. A frown, primarily. She's deeply unhappy.
So there's some terrible low-quality explosions all around Eggman as he makes his...
I never noticed that growing up, and when I was playing, I just watched it going, holy shit, this looks like a film from the 60s. Just overlay the explosions. It's 60% opacity. It looks beautiful. No, it doesn't. Who made this game? Yuji Naka.
Also, he's shooting at nothing.
Oh, cool.
Basically, Eggman has broken into Prison Island here and is babbling about some secret weapon his grandfather worked on where the research was shut down because the military feared it.
There's a lot of that in this game, huh?
Thus begins Iron Gate, the first level of the dark story, Kristen. Did you know that Eggman was playable in a previous Sonic game, and could you tell me which game it is?
Well, you don't seem to have it written down in your notes here.
I did that on purpose because I knew you'd try to peek.
Was it Sonic Adventure?
It was Sonic R.
Mean Bean Machine.
The Sonic racing game for, I believe, the Saturn and PC it came out on, I think, as well.
Can't really think of something I would be less interested in.
So, there's this whole thing, Kristen, here, which I find a little weird. So, Gerald Robotnik is Eggman's grandfather here.
Sure.
And what's going on with the Eggman/Robotnik dichotomy?
My understanding, which could be completely wrong, but I'm saying it anyway, is that the Eggman-Robotnik thing was purely a localization thing.
So, such as Peach/Princess Toadstool.
Yes. And then because of the video game markets in the United States, and, I'm assuming the inception of Sonic Team USA, they decided, hey, let's canonize both names, make it a thing.
So now it's a thing. I think Eggman's a nickname, I guess? Maybe?
Maybe.
I don't know. Either way. So, in this game, Kristen, you're playing as Eggman in a mech, a mech walker thing. In his classic Sonic game hovercraft thing with legs for some reason.
And it has some hustle.
It has some hustle. It walks really fast, according to you, compared to Tails, which I didn't notice, but...
I kept flying off of the edge of things. And, okay, again, to be fair, I'm not very good at platformers to begin with, but...
This thing's not built for platforming.
Yeah, and the camera sucks.
The camera is my biggest problem with both this and Sand Ocean, which we will get to a little later here.
I need to see if there's a way for me to change the controls, because I think my x-axis is not the way that I like it to be. So I keep just spinning the camera around 360, being like, I'll just go the whole way around until I'm at the angle that I want, instead of just tilting it the opposite direction. Slightly.
It won't let you move it freely. It just, the camera just keeps positioning itself back to its desired angle, which is also a problem.
It goes, 90 degrees at a time. If you tap it, it's like, whoa!
Also, the laser target for both this and Tails make a very high-pitched sound, and I don't like it, and you can't fire your gun without also using the targeting laser.
The first note that I did for my Tails level was just beep, 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 beep. Because that's what it feels like to play these mech levels.
I got nearly every ring in this level without trying, Kristen.
Well, good for you!
It's not a very difficult level. Iron Gate is not. I mean, it's the first level, so it shouldn't be. There's a lot of blowing...
I didn't die on that one.
There's a lot of blowing up doors, and there's a lot of a computer going, hey, stop, hey, cut it out, robots!
I was listening to K-pop instead of whatever dumb voice acting was coming out of the video game.
Iron Gate as a level, Kristen, I would rate 5 out of 10 high-pitched laser noises. It is a decent start to the dark story, but the story stuff is much more interesting than fucking walking around in a robot.
So as we continue, I feel like I make this mistake every single time I see this cutscene. Eggman waddles on up to the console there, doesn't get out of his thing, because why would he? I was gonna say they didn't model his legs, but that's not true.
They did model his legs, yes.
They did. Whatever. I guess they didn't animate him for anything except waddle walking in the Chow Garden. But he starts beep booping on things. He says, oh, the weapon's smaller than I imagined it would be. And in front of him, there's a green bubble with something inside of it that's round. And I'm like, is that Shadow just curled up in a ball inside there? He does look pretty tiny, but that's incorrect. He's in a cool future coffin. He's
in a weird future coffin here. It's behind the level 7 security gate. And at this weird neon green console, he enters the password with 3 keystrokes. Maria.
Yeah, the MA button, the RA button, and the A button.
And you need a Chaos Emerald to open this up, apparently, which, why would you do that?
So we're gonna get into this later, I'm sure. But Shadow got missile fired into Earth.
Yes.
And then got put in a techno coffin.
Yes.
For what purpose?
To seal...
Joe, explain.
To seal away. Why didn't they just kill him?
Yeah, he's so tiny.
Shoot him with a gun. Make him run off the edge of something into the abyss.
Like I did a couple of times on Radical Highway.
The weapon is, yes, smaller than he expected, and Kristen had turned, what? Sonic's here! Oh no! He's here to spoil Eggman's plans!
Everyone in this video game universe is colorblind.
Is that Sonic, Chris? It looks like Sonic. I don't see any difference between them. I'm pretty sure that's Sonic.
I think his shoes are cooler.
My name is Shadow.
My name is Riot.
So, Shadow here, he's a black hedgehog, and he's got cool styled spine. I don't know how to describe. He's got hair, I guess, kind of.
He's a little bit flippier than Sonic's.
like Bishonen hair spines, kind of, or something.
He's got some sick red streaks.
And hover shoes.
Oh yeah, those are still cool and I don't give a shit what anyone says.
Shadow makes a big stupid motion here as he thanks Eggman for freeing him, and he calls him his master, presumably for the last time in the game.
Don't do that.
I don't think that happens again. And
That's weird. Don't do it.
He does a weird genie thing where it's just like, I'm gonna grant you one wish, huh?
He woke up and he was a little bit confused considering the last thing he remembered was getting shot from space to Earth. And he bonked his head and he was like, yes! You rubbed my lamp!
I am Genie.
Perfect. What would you like? And he suddenly thinks to himself, shit, I actually have a very limited capacity in which I can be granting wishes. I really hope he asks for something reasonable.
Apparently something else happens because Eggman just goes, now what? And then Shadow decides to show off his power, but Kristen, we will come back to that because it is time for the first hero story level, which why don't you tell us a little bit about before that?
We begin in media res. You don't sound very impressed.
Well, I mean, the Dark Story started out that way too, I guess. There's not much explanation for why we're here, but...
That's true. So there's a police government helicopter just kind of hanging out over the capital city, USA. Cannot even begin to imagine where that is. Maybe in California?
I believe a lot of the structures of shit was based on or around LA and San Francisco.
Are you saying that because Radical Highway looks like 5,000 Golden Gate Bridges?
I think it's because Sonic Team USA was based in California, so...
Well, good for them.
That might have been why.
But anyway.
No famous Kennedy Center, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So there's police radio chatter about how they caught the hedgehog. Again, the government's colorblind, and it's actually really tragic. Apparently they didn't tie Sonic up very good. Because he just busts out. Also, I did ask what has happened in this world that they know about talking hero animals. Because they're like, yeah, it's a talking hedgehog, it's fine.
I want to know, because I believe over the police radio chatter, it's just like, oh no, he took out everyone on the helicopter. How did he do that?
He bit their necks and ripped out whatever he grabbed onto.
And then he ripped something else off of the helicopter. I thought this was like a blade at first, but I think it's just a piece of metal.
I hope so, because otherwise that helicopter is not staying in the air very long, and then Sonic's a murderer. But he does a cool flippity flop off the side of the helicopter, and I said, anyway, sick moves, Sonic. Fuck the police.
I believe he says something along the lines of as well as like, no in-flight snack or movie. I'm out of here.
He is taking his captivity by the government in stride, which, if I have to compliment Sonic on anything, it's that he is one positive hedgehog. So City Escape has the best music in the universe, maybe?
Escape from the City, the song from City Escape here, is a very good song. If you're playing, it's probably, if you remember this game at all, you're going to remember maybe two things, this being probably the prime example, because it happens at the very beginning of the game. Yeah,
I feel like anyone who has been touched by Sonic at any point in their life, even us, we're like, this is the only Sonic game we ever invested any amount of time into. There are very few people who do not know every single word to this song, basically. So that in itself is very nice. So most of it is downhill. I guess that's another sign that it's California, because there's lots of big hills, lots of cars in the way. You trash a lot of them. Killing people?
Maybe if you're bad at the game, Kristen.
Well, I am. So you're supposed to be hitting ramps and doing sick tricks. Let me tell you, there's about maybe 5 ramps at the very least going down these streets in the game. I hit maybe 2 of them. Did not do any sick tricks off of any of them because I couldn't get the timing right.
Yeah, they don't give you a very good window of time to make Sonic go, yah-ho, and flip a bunch.
Yeah, they sure do not. I missed most of the bars that you're supposed to swing off of. I just could not land on them for some reason. One of the issues I have with the controls of this game is it makes me feel like I'm constantly overcorrecting, because the way that the levels are set up makes it feel like you should be naturally hitting this beat and then this thing. This speed pad takes you into this loop, and then you jump over this gap and it's totally fine. But then they're also putting shit right in your way, and when you try to move the joystick any way other than, like, forward, you just start flying off the edge of the city. You
fly off the level, yeah.
Yeah, so I died in this level.
Oh, you died in City Escape?
I died doing some platforming. I can't remember where exactly. I don't think there's anything you could actually fall off of, so I probably smacked into something when I didn't have any rings.
You could fall into, there's those areas with, like, the metal platform things that move up and down that you could fall down into the abyss to. Maybe that was it.
You know what? That was definitely it. And then at the end of the level, you get chased by a big truck. A
very large truck that takes up both lanes on the freeway and kills every car in the way.
It's a government truck. This is a truck they liked so much they used it again in Sonic Generations.
Well, I think that's the point, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I just think out of all the things to pick, that's an interesting one.
Also, it chases you for a lot longer and sideways, and I really didn't... I don't really like... in general, I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic Generations. It was the only one that I was just like, hey, this might be fun, and I was just like, classic Sonic feels a little more weighty than he should, and I don't like the way that the modern Sonic levels play, so, not my favorite.
I'm not surprised somehow. So it took me 4 minutes and 11 seconds to do City Escape, and I got an E. So my last note for City Escape was, ouch. I will give it a 10 out of 10, however.
It's pretty good. I got I think a C on City Escape.
Maybe a 9.8, and maybe next time I play it, if I actually hit any of those sweet jumps, I'll upgrade the score.
So we have at this point, Kristen, there are 2 boss fights that take place in both the Hero and Dark story that are essentially the same boss fight.
Yep.
It is for Sonic, it's the Bigfoot mech crawler thingy, and for Shadow, it's the Hot Shot mech crawler thingy. I think the only difference between them, and I don't remember because I beat Bigfoot almost immediately. Hotshot shoots like a laser at you that you need to kind of like run away from. I don't think Bigfoot does that.
Hotshot killed me 3 times.
What the fuck, Kristen?
And I didn't die at all on Bigfoot. I kept getting hit by missiles.
So this is a general kind of boss fight where you gotta like wait for the boss to do its shit unless you're a cool bastard like me and you jump on the crates to hit the cockpit.
I'm not very good at platforming, so I didn't have the thumb dexterity for that. So these boss fights took a bit for me.
I will say Shadow is a lot slipperier than Sonic playing-wise because of his hover shoes, I assume.
His hover shoes make him feel like fucking butter, though. If he would actually go in the direction that I'm pointing him, he would be great.
So getting up on a box on a very small, like, platform area, you just kind of slip and slide right off most of the time.
Yep, like you freezer paper strapped to your shoes.
Also, the camera hates you in these fights, Kristen.
It sure does.
Much like the Eggman and Tails levels.
Speaking of this whole area, you know what my favorite thing is?
What is your favorite thing, Kristen?
The skybox. It looks like shit.
I didn't notice the skybox.
It is very low quality. Just kind of like, it's a nighttime gradient, and there's some stars up there. My main note for this was just boxes. Who thought this boss fight would be fun?
Yeah, the boss fight itself, I mean, the camera is basically locked onto the boss at all times, so you get to a point where you don't know where the edge of the stage is, so you might end up getting shot because of that.
Yeah, so you just ram into things. Also, they can't seem to make up their minds whether or not there's an actual person inside of these mechs. Based on the radio chatter, I choose to believe that there is, and that you kill both of these people.
They're both dead.
Daddy's not coming home. Neither of your dads. Both of your dads are dead.
Bigfoot and Hotshot, my 2 dads.
Oh no.
So after the fight with Hotshot here, Kristen, it takes Eggman a long time, up until after Hotshot is defeated, for him to realize, wait a minute, Shadow, you're the secret weapon the military's been hiding.
Ah, shit. I just got it. It just occurred to me.
And then he's like, well, wait a minute, you said you'd grant me 1 wish, so, what'd you mean by that? And Shadow's just like, bring me some Chaos Emeralds, old man.
Shadow says, peace off to space.
I'm outie. You can meet me in the central control room of the space colony ARC.
Eggman repeats that as if it doesn't actually make sense, but he apparently comprehends it.
He knows what it is. Not only that, Eggman makes like a fist bashing motion and leans forward on his thing and just says very flatly, ARC.
They love that animation. He has to emote somehow. All he has is his arms.
So after the fight with Bigfoot, however, Kristen, we have a cutscene that we'll be coming back to later here. But why don't we talk about this cutscene? After the fight with Bigfoot, Sonic's just like not bad, and he sees Shadow here. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that's Sonic. No, wait, no, yep, no, okay, no, that is Shadow. Excuse me. And Kristen, he's got a Chaos Emerald. A jewel containing the ultimate power.
One of the things I appreciated in the hero story is doing the Bigfoot thing, seeing Shadow, being like, Chaos Emerald. I'm like, oh good, it's even the green one. So that it's not really confusing for him to have something purple and being like, Emerald.
Well, if you play the Eggman story, Kristen, he pulls out the white Chaos Emerald when he needs to open up Shadow's thing.
Everything's fucked up. I did write the sexual tension between Sonic and Shadow was unreal.
Sonic ain't having any of Shadow's shit. He wants to knuckle down here, basically, and runs at Shadow saying, say something, you fake hedgehog!
It's possible he's a real hedgehog.
Kristen, I feel like this is a direct translation of the Japanese script, which makes it sound really awkward as a result.
I feel like there is a lot of that in this game. Believe it or not. Though,
I feel like that too.
There is one single piece of localization that is my favorite piece of localization in anything ever. We'll get to it this episode.
Shadow activates Chaos Control and stands there for about 15 seconds before voiping out of existence. And Kristen, I thought Sonic was fast.
How dare you? He's the fastest.
And then when Shadow fucking teleports here, Sonic goes, he's fast!
I thought I was fast.
What he almost immediately realizes that Shadow was using the Emerald to warp here.
Because that's the logical conclusion. Continue.
Or stop time like he's Dio or something.
Cool.
My name is Shadow. I'm the world's ultimate life form. Remember the name, kid.
My name is Shadow. I am the perfect man.
He chaos controls out again, and Sonic gets caught by the military. Wah, wah.
Not again.
Bleh. And then we get this cutscene, Kristen.
Speaking of sexual tension, hey, there's a hot bat!
Which occurs for both the hero and the dark story here. We've got the introduction of Knuckles the Pirate and Rogue of the X-Men here.
Yep, here they are.
Standing 20 feet away from each other with the Master Emerald between them. Apparently, Kristen, Rouge wants to steal the Master Emerald. Also, it's not on a pedestal or anything. It's just sitting out in the open.
Where is Angel Island in all of this?
Do you remember the fact that the Master Emerald, it broke? Like, Eggman broke it in Sonic Adventure 1, and because Chaos was inside it, and then it made Angel Island crash into the goddamn ocean. Do you remember that?
That's where Angel Island is.
Not with the Master Emerald for some reason.
Between these last two games, Knuckles was picking up all the pieces and just gluing them back together like, oh, motherfucker.
Knuckles says the Master Emerald is his, which is also not true, I don't think. Is he the guardian of the Emerald? I don't remember.
That's my understanding.
Anyway, Knuckles starts monologuing about how cool the Master Emerald is, how it's the only thing that can, nullify the Chaos Emeralds or something fucking stupid like that.
Let me educate you on this thing that you're trying to steal from me.
And then Eggman flies in and snatches the damn thing.
Yeah, he has his UFO catcher. He just plucks it up off the ground.
Now, Kristen, if I'm not mistaken, Shadow said Chaos Emeralds, not this thing.
It's green, close enough.
Rouge calls Eggman a thief, which is rich coming from her.
Very funny. I did write down also, Knuckles has gone through a lot as a character, huh? I feel like he's had a lot of peaks and valleys throughout the past 26 years.
He's a dumbass who had to put the Master Emerald back together twice.
Stop breaking your shit! Stop crashing your island into the ocean!
Eggman asks if this is the Master Emerald as if he doesn't know already because he broke to fucking release Chaos in the first Sonic Adventure!
Dude! Pay attention!
Eggman didn't mean to take this emerald, but fuck it, he could probably use it for something. He could probably use one of the most fucking powerful artifacts in the universe for something, Kristen.
I already picked up this giant jewel, might as well just meander away with it.
So Knuckles does the Inuyasha thing here, Kristen, and breaks the sacred jewel into a million billion pieces.
Why do you remember so much about Inuyasha?
I hate it so much.
I'm sorry you feel that way. I started
Sango got the boomerang! Moroku has the dark dimension in his hand or something.
I started rewatching it during my senior year of college when I was very stressed out.
Why?
Because I finished Vampire Night.
Oh, why?
Because I needed something to do with my time.
Anyway, Knuckles breaks it very awkwardly here. Does he, fly at it, maybe?
He kind of, float jumps. He has a little bit of, Kobe. And he just kind of, taps it. And it explodes. And Rouge is unsurprisingly like, ah!
Screaming like she's getting pelted with sharp emerald pieces.
Which she probably is. God, oh, one's in my ear.
So when Knuckles hits the ground, she just kind of looks around a bit and then grabs him by the collar, his fur, grabs him by something, and starts shaking him here, saying, "What'd you do to my emerald?"
Knuckles is like, okay, pause off, girl. I can put it back together.
If the emerald's in pieces, I can restore it. Exposition.
And Eggman's like, oh, fucking whatever, and he just floats away.
Oh, also when Eggman shows up, Rouge is just like, so that's Dr. Eggman. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, he visually is pretty distinct, so.
Rouge hates deception and despises people who steal jewels from her, so she kicks a potted plant and says all the world's gems belong to her, and we're off to Dry Lagoon / Wild Canyon.
So, at what point do they begin to make any reference to the fact that Rouge works for the American government before they just drop it on you?
Later at some point.
We'll get there, I guess.
Dry Lagoon, Kristen. It is the first Rouge level. It's weird because both of these levels lack a pretty big part of the rest of the gem hunts, which is you can't dig yet. And that means you're finding emeralds mostly floating somewhere, and the levels are incredibly easy if you know where to look.
Oh shit, one's just on the ground here. Yeah, when I was playing Wild Canyon, I just kind of, like, circled around something and just saw one of the pieces. And it wasn't on my radar at all. I was looking for something else, and I was like, oh, I'll just pick this up now, I guess. While we're on the topic,
Yes.
all of these collection stages, whatever you're trying to pick up, Chaos Emeralds, Master Emerald pieces, keys, they have the worst hitboxes in the entire universe.
I didn't have that kind of problem.
I had to rub my fucking face up against them. I had to have Knuckles take his glove off, grab it with his hand, and shove it in his mouth to pick it up. Also, the controls are bad, so that didn't help.
I think the controls are okay. It depends on the fact that if you hit a surface and you try to latch onto it, and it's not really, and if the game's like, oh, nope, don't like that, that's my biggest problem with it.
My favorite part of the collection stages is when I'm crawling up a surface, and then all of a sudden I can't figure out what button I need to press to get off. And I'm just hitting a lot of buttons and nothing is happening. And that shouldn't be a thing in a video game.
Kristen, the first time I played Dry Lagoon as well, there's a section in the second part of the stage, and we'll get to the weird split section of Dry Lagoon in a second here, where you can ride the turtle past, like, the heavy currents and whatever.
I forgot you had to save the turtle.
Yeah, and there...
Because the robots are just standing there pointing guns at it. They're doing a Mexican standoff.
And the turtle's making a noise.
I always found that very irritating. I also thought it was Rouge for a really long time when I was little. And I was like, why won't she shut up?
Anyway, I had to restart Dry Lagoon the first time I played it because the last emerald was behind, like, a bumper, and I had no idea how the fuck to get behind it.
That sucks.
Yep, but it took me like 2 minutes, so it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, I actually went through this pretty quickly as well for Wild Canyon.
Dry Lagoon and Wild Canyon share very similar ways that the stages are set up here, and we can get into something...
I get a wind tunnel.
And I get a fucking weird not sequence breaking, what do I want to say here? Immersion breaking? Not even. A weird break in the action where you gotta ride a fucking turtle to the second part of the stage, and it's annoying and I hate it.
Yep, sure, why not?
But basically... the way that the emeralds work is you're probably gonna find the first one in, like, the bottom area or whatever, and then the second and third off to the left and right of the second part of the stage.
Explore the space. Really feel it for the 2 minutes you're there.
And this brings up, Kristen, the fact that a lot of stages for Rouge and Shadow and Tails tend to use assets from other characters' levels, which... leads some to believe, myself included, that the 3 characters who were added in, like, hey, look, these 3 characters are playable too. Pretty late in the development cycle it had to happen. Not late, because, I mean, it's not amazingly obvious unless you're looking for it, but...
They still fit into the story just
They fit into the story, it's fine, but still, it's one of those things, we'll get to it when we talk about Radical Highway, but the fact that the 2 stages of Dry Lagoon and Wild Canyon are incredibly similar other than, like, water... basically.
Yeah.
It's weird. I got an A rank on this level, Kristen, because, damn good!
I got a C, which is better than an E.
Did you use any of the hints?
Yes, because I forgot that they take away from your score. But I think I only used 2 of them. I never used 3.
I give Dry Lagoon, Kristen, 6 humming turtles out of 10, because the break in the action is stupid.
I'll give Wild Canyon a 7 out of 10, mostly based on the song.
Alright, I think now's a good time to talk about the music here. So, we've had a flavor of everybody's music except for Tails and Shadow at this point. Sonic's levels get, they're kind of like upbeat, like, wah, cool, and...
Surfer rock.
It doesn't have surf guitar, unfortunately. It should, though.
Unfortunately.
Eggman and Tails have music that I don't care about, that I don't think I've ever even bothered to listen to a track outside of the game, because who the fuck cares? Nope. Rouge has some very, like, big bandy kind of stuff.
Why not?
Jazzy kind of inspired shit. It really, like, spy movie shit sometimes. I like Rouge's stuff pretty well. The shining light, of course, is...
We are talking about the star of the show, of course. The
Knuckles stages, which feature rap. And we got, in Wild Canyon alone, Wild Canyon, fun, gotta chase a bat, yeah, Rouge, she's sexy and smooth. Double crossed by a thief that's out for my jewels, I'm feeling her in mysterious ways. That's why I stay on point like every single day. I gotta protect this place, I do it for my race.
They really give us an interesting insight into Knuckles' inner thoughts that he does not verbalize for the entire game, and as far as we know, is not actually having.
The music for the levels should be construed as Knuckles' inner thoughts, of course.
I love the idea that Knuckles' inner thoughts are hip-hop.
I did all of that Wild Canyon shit off the top of my head, too. Goddamn.
God bless you.
But Knuckles has the best songs, yes. Wild Canyon deserves... Wild Canyon doesn't have a fucking break in the action, either. It's got the wind tunnel, which is cool, and it's got some of the best music in the game. It's not the best music in the game. So, we're getting right to stage 3 here, Kristen, of the Dark Story, which is Sand Ocean, which you and I hate.
Sand Ocean fucking sucks.
We're getting into it here, Kristen. Eggman is headed back to his secret pyramid base, which seems to be crawling with the enemy military, the gun units, whatever they are. I don't know what the fuck they are, first of all.
You'll never find it. My face is on everything. Dumb asshole.
Yeah, Sand Ocean sucks because you don't have the hover yet, which is the major part, like the dig claws of the treasure hunt levels, and the fucking, I guess, the ring run, whatever the fuck you call that, the light step, whatever the shit that is in the Sonic levels.
One of the things I did remember as I was playing through this, I started going for the first platform and then thought to myself, you do not have the hover yet, Kristen. Tread lightly. And then I fell into the sand 4 fucking times.
These are, without the hover, you should not be platforming with these things. And I understand. It's like basic sliding platform shit, like, you know, like a World 2 fucking Crash Bandicoot level, maybe.
But Eggman is slippery, and the camera sucks.
The game forces you to wait on the circle platform things too, and it's a nightmare, basically.
It's stupid garbage, and all of the Egypt pyramid stuff is also completely unnecessary to the story.
I think they just did it because they needed 4 characters to have an Egypt pyramid level. 5 characters. Tails has 1 too. Shadow's the only character without a fucking level in this environment.
What a lucky duck.
I don't know if Eggman built a path back to the base for himself, Kristen, here, but there's like dynamite on all these like obelisks.
Who set up all these obelisks while I was gone?
Let me blow them up.
Watch your shit better. This is why it's not good to work alone.
And I died once on Sand Ocean here, so congratulations to me. I'm sorry that you died probably like 9 times, Kristen.
I got down to 0 lives on Sand Ocean.
I give Sand Ocean 3 Crash Bandicoots out of 10 because fuck off.
I hate platforming. It's the only video game genre that I'm worse at than first-person shooters.
Sand Ocean is the level that, Kristen, without the hover boots, is bad and wrong. It is badong.
It sure is.
Eggman gets into his base, no problem, and realizes he needs to get up to that damn space station Ark, even without the Chaos Emeralds like Shadow asked. Takes the Chaos Emeralds, you dumbass.
Why not? I like that inside his pyramid base, he has, like, a single room, and it's a computer, and that's the base.
He's got a Tony Stark future computer.
Perfect.
And then he turns on the news and scratches his butt while he's doing so.
Great.
And there's been a break-in at the Federal Reserve Bank. Only a Chaos Emerald was stolen.
They don't get to the part where the news actually says Chaos Emerald before Eggman is animated to go, Chaos Emerald!
So there's a lot of... is this the first instance, Kristen, of people stepping on each other's words?
It's probably the first and most obvious, if anything.
The prime suspect for this kidnapping of a Chaos Emerald is none other than world-renowned hero, as they call him, Sonic the Hedgehog. And we see footage of Shadow. And Kristen, it looks exactly like him, so I can see why people would mistake Sonic for Shadow in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, the news is in black and white, so...
Sounds more like the work of Shadow, Eggman says. Still unable to tell them apart, probably because he saw that and it's just like, what's Sonic doing stealing Chaos? Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, cool, great, we're doing this.
So, Kristen, we get back to the hero story at this point, and so the last thing we do was Wild Canyon, and now all of a sudden, where are we?
We're at the Prison Island, my favorite vacation spot, and Tails is hanging out. What's his plane called? The Tornado?
The Tornado, yes.
Tails, Bailey, and the Tornado. Cruising over the ocean near the prison for some reason. And Tails, with his amazing kitsune eyes, sees Eggman advancing his mech feet toward Amy, who is in this game for reasons I cannot remember at all.
Alright, Kristen, so there's a few things about this cutscene here. One is Tails gives exposition to himself, basically.
In that great Tails voice.
It is the most obvious shit of him just going stuff like, I can't believe Sonic would steal from the military.
I don't think Sonic would steal from the military. Oh no, it's Amy and Dr. Eggman.
Do we have any explanation for why Amy is here?
I can't remember.
She's just on Prison Island.
Shut up, Joe. The important thing is that we get to hear Amy's theme song. Sweet, sweet, yes, sweet. I used to have a CD with the song burned onto it.
So, Tails has basically got to throw down Dr. Eggman here.
This fight's very easy. I pressed forward and hit circle until he died.
So the boss fights against the other playable characters, are not very difficult. A lot of times... If you know
how to circle strafe and stun lock, you're good.
A lot of times, the thing you're going to be fighting is the camera in most of these fights.
Yep, because you are standing on a stage the size of a quarter and attempting to navigate around it while trying not to get attacked.
So, Eggman gets defeated here. And I think we're going to end up with this cutscene. We're going to see this cutscene again in part 2. Because, again, a lot of this shit... There's a lot of crossover in this shit, but this should tell you where... Oh, that's the reason Sonic was captured by the military, by the way, because Shadow stole the Chaos Emerald. If you didn't realize previously.
I forgot he's actually in jail now.
Dear listener. So, that was the boss fight with Dr. Eggman, Kristen, and it didn't take you any time at all. When I played it, it was, easy. Yeah. Dumb.
Even I did a good job on it.
So what is our next stage?
I believe our next stage would be Prison Lane, because it takes place directly after the stupid Eggman shit. I guess Amy is just following you while you're doing this?
You don't see her, but she's there, probably.
She still gets to Sonic before you. My first note was, oh good, I hate this level. And then I asked myself, do Sonic and Tails not, communicate with each other on a regular basis? I feel like there is a lack of information passing between them. Some questions that could have been answered. Anyway, you're just going through the prison again. Going around some stupid tight corners. You have to shoot enemies dead before certain walls will open. There's a lot of railings.
Unlike Eggman levels.
Unlike the Eggman levels. So the railings kept me safe and I didn't die. This is where I have my note. Beep, 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 beep.
This is reusing most of the assets from Iron Gate as well, including the elevator, which goes up instead of down.
I did learn from watching GDQs of this game that when you go on the elevator, if you just hop all the way forward past where the gate rises up, you can ride on the inside, I guess outside, right near the seam next to the wall. And it just kind of drags you all the way up. And then you don't have to wait for the gate to go down when you get to the top.
Huh.
Also, nothing can hit you.
Even better.
That's one of the only speedrunning strats I'm going to be attempting when we play this.
I'm pretty sure Prison Lane is a level that doesn't last very long either. I think it took me barely 3 minutes.
3 minutes and 33 seconds. I did get a C.
I don't remember what I got for Prison Lane.
And if I'm gonna rate it, there were railings. So, that's an 8 out of 10 for me.
I got an E on Sand Ocean, by the way, because fuck off, Sand Ocean.
It's the worst! So somehow, Amy found Sonic before Tails does. She smells him, finds him, follows her heart and her nose.
Fruit Loops.
Ew, delicious. So she knows what the color blue is. That's an important detail.
She does specify a black hedgehog, yes.
Thank God she knows what colors are. So Sonic is in this very spacious jail cell. Looks like if he put a little effort into it, he maybe could just squeeze himself straight out of them bars.
His head is gigantic, Kristen. There's no way he could do that.
He would just have to sacrifice some of that width. Just shave off a little bit. Ooh, gross. So there's a fairly stupid exchange where Amy does have one of my favorite pieces of very weird, awkward voice acting in the whole game. Where she goes, "Have no fear, Amy Rose is here!"
She does a weird twirl when she does it, too.
She sure does. She got some kind of ID off of a guard that she pickpocketed and then Vulcan neck pinched, I guess. So she starts talking about the black hedgehog and Sonic is like, "Tell me what you know." And she goes, if I do, you marry me? And Sonic goes, "No." And I'm starting to think, how old is Amy? I think she might be 12.
Amy then immediately afterward goes, "Oh, I thought I had you there. Did you?"
She's as stupid as Kimber. But she eventually does use the ID to swipe Rooney, get Sonic out of there. He starts to walk away without making sure Amy is okay in this prison that she just broken out of. Amy is aiding and abetting a criminal at this point. You'd think you would be a little bit more concerned, but hey, Sonic, he's too cool, right?
So, as well, inside this prison cell, there's a bunch of fucking beautiful mind writing on the walls, and she's just like, "What's going on with this? Oh, Sonic's gone! Oh no!
I'm incapable of critical thought!"
Was that the same prison cell Gerald Robotnik was in, I guess, maybe? When he was going bazonkers?
I don't know.
Whatever. I don't know if there's a story element to it. Doesn't matter.
I'm sure we'll find out. Is it my turn to talk about Metal Harbor?
We're going to talk about Radical Highway first, Kristen.
Oh, good. Because I'm embarrassed at my performance in Metal Harbor.
So, we see Shadow atop a bridge. This is just directly after that cutscene of the police are, chasing after Shadow here. And God knows how they drove there, because Radical Highway is a fucking disjointed mess. All these cop cars that are cornering him. And he goes, "How pathetic! Humans!"
I am gonna complain about this a lot, even though, it's Sonic, so I really should just shut my mouth. The fact that these roads for humans and cars do loop-de-loops fucks me up every single time. I don't agree with it, and I don't approve.
Shadow flashes back to his final moment with Maria, whomever she may be here.
They show a lot more of this than I thought they would.
She traps Shadow in a capsule here, and he does a very flat, "What?" when it happens.
Huh? He just spoke up. He's like, "Whoa!"
"Shadow, I beg of you. Shadow. Oh, Shadow. Do it for me. Do it for the purple.
Great.
Of the planet."
Yeah. Whatever that means. He remembers this, wakes up and decides, you know what, I think I would like to be evil. I mean, I am black and red. Just seems natural.
"Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog." And then the capsule shoots down to Earth, where he gets electro-coffined later.
Time to talk about that localization I like so much.
"Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog," Kristen. I believe I remember we had a moment where we had the voices in Japanese, because that is an option in this game.
Yep. And we were incapacitated.
Because Sonic says this line at the end of the game, and I believe in Japanese, is it "Adios, Shadow the Hedgehog"?
It sure is. They decide to put some Spanish in there. Making you really Americanize it.
Is Maria supposed to be Spanish?
She's blonde, so I don't think so. If she is, it's a bad interpretation of what a Latino person looks like.
She looks like Alice from Alice in Wonderland, quite frankly.
She sure does. Oh, also, she looks Uncanny Valley as shit.
Her eyes are gigantic.
Say what you will about Sonic 06, at least the lady that Sonic smooches on in that game looks like a real lady. Well, not real. She looks like a Final Fantasy lady. But you know what I mean.
She looks like an anime lady, yeah.
Yeah, she has a face that's palatable. Maria probably should have died. She was an abomination.
"I'll keep my promise to you, Maria, and to the people of this planet. I promise you, revenge."
That seems like a misinterpretation of her wishes.
You think?
We'll see if Shadow figures that out throughout the course of the game.
So, I'm pretty sure the "I promise you revenge" line is what Shadow says when you select him in multiplayer.
Nice. He promises the player revenge.
I remember that, and I remember the Amy Roses here is what Amy says when you select her.
What does Tikal say? Doesn't she say, "I'm Tikal"?
Maybe?
I think that's what she says. I think Metal Sonic goes, "Brr, brr."
You're correct, that is what he says.
Yeah! Why is my memory so good?
So Radical Highway starts now, Kristen. It is a disjointed mess of a level, but I think it's pretty cool, I guess, so...
I think I died twice. I was telling you before we started recording, in order to, lengthen the level, there are these, big rolly doodads that you need to, somersault underneath, and, the game doesn't like when you do that, which is funny, because it's a mechanic they put in front of you in the video game. So I did that, and there aren't any railings on this highway. Again, railings are kind of my best friend in these games.
So you fly off the edge.
So I rolled under this thing like it told me to do, and then immediately my collision got messed up and I flew off of the edge. And I was like, "Oh cool, I'm dead."
And that was your game over?
Yes, I got a game over because Sandoshan murdered me a lot. So I died before I even got to the first checkpoint in Radical Highway. This is gonna be rough.
So, Radical Highway, again, disjointed mess because I don't know if they're working on this highway. I don't remember if you see cranes in the background or anything.
Maybe they would have finished this highway sooner if they hadn't spent so much time putting 500 loop-de-loops in it.
And these weird roller things that have no discernible purpose.
Except to stop hedgehogs, I guess.
Kristen, this, again, it's using assets from a Tales level Mission Street that we'll see later here, and I have a feeling that's why it's a disjointed mess. I think, it still has enough Sonic-y, Sonic level kind of stuff in it, but there's way too many breaks in the action here where you're either grabbing onto the thing that, pulls you upward, or you're rolling under the columns.
You're going boing, 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 or you're hitting rockets that, highway rockets. Those things we have.
Or you're running so fast, yes, that a jet hits you with its missiles.
That's, again, one of those things I have a really big issue with is, okay, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, Isn't the point to go fast?
The point is to go fast, but Kristen, even if you're trying to go fast in, say, Sonic 1, in any level that's not Green Hill Zone, you're gonna get your shit pushed in.
Like, the levels seem like they're designed with the hope of unbroken, quick platforming and movement. And then they keep putting shit right in front of you that stops you. How are you supposed to collect all the rings? How are you supposed to collect all the rings?
Now, the dumb shit, Kristen, is like the missiles hitting like inside you, like shooting, like hit it, like exploding on top of you if you're running full speed, basically. Which is, and like in City Escape sometimes, where a robot drops from an area where you're not going to be able to see it unless you know it's going to be there.
Like literally, the very end of Radical Highway, I remember that right before the ring, a robot pops out, and I jumped over it and I went, "Fuck you!" So I'm only relying on my like 15-year-old memory. That's not true, because we had the GameCube version, but still quite old memory.
Also, there are still ramps, like in City Escape here, and you can have Shadow do sick tricks inside a tunnel for some reason.
Guess what? I did it.
Oh, you did?
Yes. My reflexes got better. Also, I might be because it's very stormy here. I played the dark version of these first couple of levels right before we started recording because I had a little bit of extra spare time. And it's rainy here, and my internet connection started to freak out a little bit. So there was a point where my frame rate was down to 1 frame per second.
Nice.
And I was like, sure do hope I don't go sailing off the edge of this highway once I get my frames back.
Either way, Kristen, as an introductory level for Shadow, I don't really like it that much. It gets 5 revenges out of 10 for me.
Aesthetically, I really like it.
It looks better than Mission Street, but I also have a pretty big bias against the levels for, like, Tails and stuff. Wait a minute. Huh. Tails is one of those characters that came in, too. Mission Street couldn't have been made from the assets. These assets had to come from somewhere else.
Mystery.
They weren't the City Escape assets, I can tell you that.
Nope. Hey, maybe it turns out they were just being lazy. It spent so much time to run through all those loop-de-loops!
So, Kristen, we're back here at the same cutscene we talked about fucking 20 minutes ago with
time is meaningless.
Chaos Control. So, my question is, Kristen, are Radical Highway and City Escape like right next to each other?
Well, one takes place during the daytime and one takes place during nighttime.
The Bigfoot fight takes place during the nighttime as well, Kristen, so that's why it's nighttime all of a sudden at City Escape.
Sonic stopped in the city after the giant truck crashed, and he was like, I'm gonna go eat some chili dogs, probably.
Well, this should tell you how far behind the timeline is here. Actually, when you think about it, so this takes place right before Wild Canyon, but we've already seen the cutscene for Wild Canyon from Rouge's side, so that must take place after Eggman has seen all of this shit with Shadow, so Radical Highway probably should have been earlier in the game. So
I'm gonna need you to literally chart this out for me if you expect me to follow it, because otherwise you do not give a shit, and I don't have enough room in my brain for the chronology of Sonic Adventure 2.
The level should have went Iron Gate, Sand Ocean, Radical Highway, and then Dry Lagoon.
Sure.
And then I guess Egg Quarters, because it's time to do Egg Quarters.
Cool.
So Rouge is snooping around Eggman's base for some reason here. She needs to get 3 keys that are buried in the walls for some reason to get it. She talks to somebody on, like, you know...
She has an earpiece in her giant ear.
Rouge, starting a mission. I'm Rouge. I'm starting my mission. Jules, Rouge, mission. Got it. Cool.
Booyah. Keys.
Egg Quarters sucks, Kristen.
I got super lost in here because it didn't occur to me until my last key that I needed the dig nails. And then I didn't know where to find them, so I had to Google it.
I managed to get the fuck out of there in 2 minutes because you're looking for keys, and your radar is keys this time. The first 2 were inside of the Gamma robots with the double hand cannons that I guess aren't Gamma, that mass-produced, whatever.
Kill Sonic Adventure 1.
Which were really easy to find. This level also has a golden scarab flying around that's basically a security force, and if it finds you, it shoots a laser at you, and I don't like that mechanic.
Yeah, it hit me like 5,000 times, but I had a lot of rings, so I didn't die, at least, which is nice. I didn't actually check to see what my final time was on this level, but I am pretty sure it took me over 10 minutes. I got an E.
I got an A, and I got the dig boots as well for Rouge. This is the big
nails,
part.
Joe, because they're for a girl.
Whatever, dig nails. No, she digs with her boots, though.
They calls them nails.
I know it calls them nails, but still,
it's
I'm
her
just
toenails.
saying. Oh, God.
Bat.
Do bats burrow with their feet, Kristen? That must be why.
I have no idea. Let's talk about this anthropomorphic rat that wears shoes. I'm sorry, bat. It rhymes.
So you get to hear Rouge go shoot over and over again when you dig now. So good job.
Great. that one voice clip.
I give Egg Quarters, Kristen, 1 key out of 3, meaning on a scale of 10, it's a bit better than Sandocian, and I'm really starting to get envious of the hero levels at this point, because they're definitely much better than the dark levels so far.
Yeah, it took me a half hour to do the amount of levels that we divvied out for this episode.
So Rouge finds the Tony Stark computer in Eggman's base after the level is over here, and she finds out it's a space transporter of the destination, with the destination, I should say, of the space station destination, transportation, location of the Space Colony Ark.
Speaking of a lot of Asian words that rhyme, I can't believe we forgot to mention in Sandocian that the outside of Eggman's base has a bunch of Blade Runner fire plumes. Like the Tyrell Corporation.
It does, you're right. Man, wouldn't the Tyrell Corporation be cool if it had statues with Eggman's faces on it?
Nope.
So, a thing happens here, and I forgot to mention this in the Tails cutscene before Prison Lane. Both Tails and Rouge do this here, where Tails sees Amy, and he goes, "What's Amy doing here? Doesn't matter!" And Rouge sees Eggman wants to go to the Space Colony Ark, and she goes, "Why does Eggman want to go up there? Doesn't matter!"
You know what? That's a storytelling convention I can get behind. It's true to life. Ugh, fuck it.
Also, though, the way Rouge says it, she goes, "What's he doing up there anyway? Doesn't matter. It's my job to find out what he's doing up there." Then that's why it matters, Rouge. That's why you asked that question. That's
I'll
why
find out when I get there. And then she goes to space.
Rouge does a little twirl here, yes, and teleports to space. Sonic the Hedgehog!
Yup, in space.
So, Metal Harbor.
I died 3 times in Metal Harbor.
Did you?
I did. So you're getting off the prison base, I guess, at this point. Fuck if I know where Sonic's going, right, guys? The guy's a loose cannon.
You're escaping Prison Island, I guess. Running across... are there, like, aircraft carriers?
There are. You know what this doesn't have as many of? Some railings. So, first of all, you get your ring collecty button. That lets
light
you
dash.
Light dash. That lets you zip across a line of rings. I did almost fall off of a few things, not quite lining that up correctly. There are a couple of places where you have to target hit enemies across a large gap to get over it. Me doing this sent me flying off in the wrong direction, and I fell into the ocean and died.
Yeah, if you don't know how to target... Not if you don't know how to target your homing attacks, because sometimes, quite frankly, you're targeting it, but the game doesn't want you to hit the enemy.
Yeah, silly me. When they're clustered super close together, I assume the game would be like, oh, you want to hit the next one. You don't have to tilt your stick. Well, fuck me, no. Midway through the level, there's a countdown where they're testing a missile, I guess.
I tried to get to the top of the missile probably 3 times because it's difficult to do.
There's lots
Not
of
impossible.
sharp corners.
It's difficult. There's a lot of sharp corners, and if it's one of those things where if you don't do it exactly right, you're fucked. I died, I think, 3 times trying to do that.
I also tried to do a skip that I saw on the internet and died. At the base of the missile, there are the bounce pads, and I don't know why they're even there, because if you fall and hit and need to use one of those bounce pads to get back up onto the thing, you're not gonna make it. You have like 10 seconds.
Yeah, maybe they bounce you up to the top part. I don't know.
That's what I feel like I remember seeing online, but whatever.
I don't want to jump towards them because you can't see them with the camera, so you can't really line it up.
Nope, might as well just hope you take those corners correctly. I made it on my 3rd try. I got a C.
I believe I got a C on Metal Harbor as well. Or it might have been an E because I kept dying at that last part with the missile. And they don't give you... So you go up in the rocket or whatever, and then you go down... You fly off into like an air vent thing where you do a little bit more surfing that controls way worse than City Escape for some reason.
Yep, impossible to like drift at all.
Then you hit the end of the level, basically.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I like the music.
Metal Harbor's got some nice music. I definitely think, as far as... Sonic definitely gets the good end of the stick, where Shadow gets a lot of, like, broody music, as he would.
Yep.
But, you know. So, Kristen, after Metal Harbor, Sonic's suddenly in a forest.
You know, the jungle or forest. Right near the prison island.
This game doesn't seem to... Because, I mean, the next level is Green Jungle, which we're not going to get to in this episode, but... There's a green forest and white jungle, which are ostensibly the same level. Not exactly the same. They got some differences, but there's a difference between a forest and a jungle, but whatever, I guess.
Pretty sure they're both jungles, but, you know.
And now we have here, Kristen, the finale to our episode, one of my favorite... The Biggin, one of my favorite cutscenes in the game.
It's up there.
If you like, Kristen, I can help to reenact it here.
Who am I?
You could be Sonic.
Okay. Welcome to our radio play.
But anyway, it starts with, because I didn't write that part down, Sonic goes, "Hey, that's..." And I'll start, "That blue hedgehog again of all places."
I found you, faker.
Faker? I think you're the fake hedgehog around here. You compare yourself to me? Ha! You're not even good enough to be my fake.
Eat those words.
So, Kristen, Sonic and Shadow one talk over each other, which is amazing.
It's hilarious.
But
if you have not actually seen this cutscene recently or at all, just look it up on the internet.
So we're going to be cutting part 1 here. It is the fight to end all fights, Kristen. It's the end of the game right here at Sonic vs. Shadow.
Already.
Who's gonna win? That's my question.
I will. The viewer will.
Sonic and Shadow both have games afterwards. Who's gonna win?
They both die. It was inside a snow globe the whole time.
Say it elsewhere.
Perfect.
So, Kristen, now that we've taken a little bit of a dive into Sonic Adventure 2, I know you had said earlier that
it's worse than I remember.
The game's worse than you remember, which I played this game as recently as, I'm going to say, about 2 years ago when I got it on Steam, and I still like it.
Oh, it has its redeeming qualities. The so bad it's good cutscene thing is still effective.
It's the so bad it's good is strong in this game, and again, we're not really going to be taking any time to talk about it, but the Chow Garden is the best part of the game.
Yes, absolutely. That's agreed upon by pretty much everyone who's ever touched this game.
Which is why I remember being quite angry when Sonic Heroes came out, and it was just a shitty game, and not this thing that could help bolster my appreciation of it.
Did we buy Sonic Heroes, or did we rent it?
We bought Sonic Heroes,
shame
Kristen.
on us.
That's where Sonic with us was from about 2001, I'd say, or 2002, I think, because that's when we got the GameCube, I think. Because we got Sonic Mega Collection,
yes,
which was the first foray into Sonic here, as well as Sonic Adventure 2 was, I think, a friend had it, maybe, so we borrowed it and played it a lot.
One of the many video games we stole from one of your friends.
Probably. And it lasted until Sonic Heroes, the whirlwind romance of us with Sonic, ended with Sonic Heroes because it was garbage.
It was very short-lived. I remember us being children and recognizing that Sonic Heroes sucked. That's surreal.
That may have been the first game where I spent... No, well, not that I spent money on it, but, you know, a new game, it's all hyped, and then you played it, and it's just like, oh, huh.
Oh, shit, video games can be bad.
You'd think with all those fucking Nintendo consoles we had, you'd just be like, you play Super Mario Sunshine, it's great! You play Wind Waker, it's great! You're like, oh my god, all this shit's amazing, and it's just like, oh, no, wait a minute.
When I had stars in my eyes and was playing Hey You Pikachu. I didn't realize that video games could be bad.
Oh, Kristen, I believe we made Mom pay full price for Pokemon Channel.
We did.
Phew.
Sorry, Mom.
Remember Pokemon Channel?
We did 100% it.
We did, that's right.
It didn't take a lot of effort.
No, it did not.
And we had some cool Pichu Brothers shorts.
I remember those. Was that the only good part of Pokemon Channel?
I don't really remember any other part of it.
Wobbuffet did the news, that's what I remember.
Yes!
Part 1 must come to an end at this point, Kristen.
Before we go on any more tangents about our childhoods.
Before we go on any more tangents here, because that's really... I feel like this is quickly becoming more about nostalgia than Sonic Adventure.
So I guess that's the thing where Gem is actually very helpful to us, is besides us shoehorning in Homestar Runner references, we can't actually relate it to our childhoods. Whereas this is just straight up something from our childhoods.
So expect part 2. We're going to be doing 3 more episodes of Gem, and then part 2 will be coming in time here. So now is the point in the evening where I will list off all of the fun contact things where you can find us. You could follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTApod. You could follow me at Octopus, which is AWKTAPUS.
You can follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark, where you can see me rioting over the fact that a Persona 3 dancing game is coming out, and as usual, the female main character from Persona 3 Portable is nowhere to be found.
Oh, Atlas.
I'm gonna burn Atlas down. I won't.
You can find us on the iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You can drop us a line, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us how to react properly to big news and what the major differences are between Sonic and Shadow, because quite frankly, Kristen, they look identical to me.
We're gonna need some help here.
Next week, Kristen, it's a dance episode.
No!
It is, I believe, the only dance episode of this. Okay, so Season 3 has one too many dance episodes.
It certainly does.
Let's put it that way. Next week is Homeland, Heartland, where we learn Dance's name is Giselle Dvorak.
Great. and her mom was murdered or something.
Whoa, that sounds pretty cool, actually.
Dance is very sad in this episode. She gets a new beefcake because she doesn't have Cisco anymore.
She hates the thong song so much.
She's so sick of hearing it, she needs to leave the country to find someone else.
Also, they play a song twice. Gem, with its fucking song real estate of 3 songs an episode, where it's sometimes tough to get even 2 songs into an episode, play a song twice.
They're just being reckless now. It's irresponsible and I don't approve.
Anyway, Homeland, Heartland. It's next week. I can't wait. I hope it's the low light of season 3 so we can get onto the good shit, because Kristen after that is Midsummer Night's Madness.
Yes!
So, and then the day the music died.
Yes!
So we gotta fucking...
We have to bear the cross that is dance on our backs.
It is always the darkest before dawn, Kristen.
It certainly is.
So that means for the Can We Talk About podcast, my name is Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And join us next week for Dance.
Redemption's in the mail. Stick with us.